Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Wanjiru Kihusa. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I'm a Kenyan living in Dubai. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. Now, for those of you who are new here, please, check out the place, watch a few videos. I'm still, growing here. So, but watch some videos and please subscribe, and I hope you like it. So today I want to talk about something that's very close to my heart, and I would like to share my struggles of being an expatriate stay-at-home mom, what those struggles look like, and what I have been doing that has been helping for me in those challenges. So let's go straight into the video because I don't want to take too much of your time. But I have to warn you that I'm going to be as raw as I possibly can because I believe in vulnerability and authenticity. I don't want to pretend that, it's been amazing, Dubai is awesome, it's fantastic, and we have had no challenges whatsoever. That's not true. And so let me go straight into the challenges. Challenge number one was moving to a new country. I mean, that in itself, just like packing up your bags and leaving the people you love behind, is tough. It's tough, and it's really a balance between the excitement and the thrill of what's over there and what are we going to be experiencing over there. Are there more opportunities over there? Is it easier to make money there? Is it easier for our kids to go to school over there? Versus we love all our friends and we are leaving them behind. What about our family? So the move to a new country was rough. Now, number two, COVID-19 happened and lockdown happened. Now, to give you perspective, let me just share our situation back home. Where we lived, we had, a nice big house with a compound. Sana the compound, specifically that part. What that meant is that because we lived in a gated community, my child could play, freely and had 1,000 friends. There were always kids in our house, And that moving into an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment in the middle of Dubai on the 29th floor is the ultimate isolation. You don't even need COVID for that. Now, if you add COVID to the mix and now you're stuck in a 2-bedroom apartment, you cannot leave, you cannot, my husband was working from home, my son and I can go outside to play. Basically, it was just indoors. That was very, very difficult. I have to say it was one of the hardest things I've done. Now, number two was we moved here without a nanny. Now, because I knew that I wasn't coming to respond, I wasn't responding to a job offer, for example, so I wasn't coming to do an 8 to 5. I wouldn't be so busy. We didn't feel the need to come with our nanny. Plus, we got her an opportunity to work elsewhere, and she's loving it. So now, I came from having help with my chores and somebody who would mind the baby to zero help. And this means waking up, fixing breakfast, washing dishes, cleaning the house, doing laundry, folding that laundry, ironing, it was a lot. Then before you know it, it's time for dinner and repeat for tomorrow. And to be honest, I don't know how to say this, but no one imagines, their days being full of laundry and scrubbing toilets, to be honest, And I'm not saying the work is demeaning, but there's a way it feels. These chores that we associate with homemaking are not glamorous, I have to be honest, and it feels like sometimes just when you clean the house, it's so clean and it's so nice, but your people are still living there, they didn't move, so like 5 minutes afterwards, some crumbs are on the floor, toys have fallen over there, somebody played with a balloon and it burst. I'm not saying it's somebody, it could be me, it could be my husband, it could be the baby, it could be anyone, who knows, but basically what I'm saying is, and then also with kitchens, like needing to be cleaned all the time, So that was an adjustment because, I used to come home and find dinner fixed. Now everyone's like, we are hungry, and I'm like, I'm hungry too. Then I remember I'm mom, and it's me they are telling, and that is not easy. Yeah, and those first few months, and even now, by the time evening hits and I put the baby to bed, bath time has happened, bedtime has happened, and my God, I feel so tired, like I just want to sleep. But at the very same time, it's the only me time I have, so maybe I want to catch a movie, I want to read a book, and before you know it, it's 11 p.m. in the night, and I know my child will be up at 6:30 because he's such an early riser, and he wakes up with stories, and so that adjustment, man, was hard. And then number 4 is not having somewhere to go, like in terms of work. We underestimate the power of waking up, showering, and going somewhere, going to build something, And for me, that was still a mom. I built this organization from the ground, I was so invested. Still a mom was my baby, and as much as it's still running right now, it's running without my full attention. And I'm responding to an email here and there. The counselor that we have is doing an amazing job, but she's doing it all alone and, with the board. And I'm not involved as I used to be, and I get to only read emails like in the evening when the baby is in bed. And that not having somewhere to go meant that I started to feel unworthy. I started to feel a bit, useless, like, what am I here to do? My worth started to feel questioned by myself. Number 5 is that work comes with money. And even if still a mom was a non-profit, I used to make a small stipend. It wasn't much, but it paid my, transport, and it bought my airtime and any small thing that I would have needed for my own personal needs. And there's that feeling of at least you're making some money, and I want some new shoes and I can afford it, And it always feels like, especially when you feel like you're buying a luxury item, it feels better when you're buying it for yourself, because you feel like I'm really affecting the family budget. And so the fact that I wasn't making money, I haven't been making money even now, there's a way it weighs down on you, and you feel like you don't deserve good things. You don't deserve to spend money on yourself, on things that are not for the house, on milk and bread and dinner, and or we need shopping for the house, your things. And so that was also a challenge for me. And I don't know whether I'm counting correctly, but I think 6 was this loneliness, homesickness, and just now the overwhelming nature of everything happening at the very same time. Not working, not having a nanny, moving to a new country, being the everything, And so that was hard. And to be honest, I spent quite a number of evenings just crying. I would put the baby to bed, and it would be time for me to take a shower, and I would find myself just sitting there and just weeping, and had some really depressive periods where I was just like, I don't know, I was feeling like, I don't know that this is what I signed up for. Did I, just say yes so quickly? Did I not calculate what it would cost? And while, as a Christian, I knew I was doing the right thing. I knew God had directed me to move with my family. I'm allowed to feel things, And so let me talk about what has been helpful. Number 1 is I deliberately made friends. I realized because my husband came and plugged into his job, he already had colleagues and friends, and I was lacking that. And that was a big deal for me, and my days felt very lonely because he had colleagues, and especially because immediately we came, there was no a lockdown yet, so he would wake up and go to the office, and he had friends, he had colleagues, he had people to talk to. And even when he was working from home, he had stuff to do and friends to talk to. And so for me, I have deliberately reconnected with my friends. There's always a feeling like your friends have moved on with their lives, they have families, they have lives, but like being deliberate in reconnecting with my friends. And so that has been a major help. So I have Zoom calls with my friends. I have, prayer partners, and we hook up every so often. And number 2 is I made new friends over here. And I decided, just to boldly go out and not be afraid of whether I have enough to offer. And I reached out. When I was in Kenya, I was in BSF, that's Bible Study Fellowship. I used to go to the one that meets in Lavington. And so when I was there, I actually thought, my BSF leader said, hey, you're moving to Dubai. I bet there has to be a BSF group in Dubai. And so I wrote to them on email, and guess what? Someone responded. And that first week when I got here, I even went for a physical meeting. That was before lockdown. And then lockdown happened, and we have been doing Zoom meetings every Wednesday. And let me tell you, it's been so powerful just to have a day in the week where I hang out I hang out with these amazing women from all over the world. And that's the beauty of Dubai, is that it's a hub. It's not only a hub for, where you connect with your flights to wherever in the world, but literally people come here and they do life, and then they go back to their home countries at some point, or move on to new countries, So it's a place to find all this mixture of people, And so in the BSF group, we have people from the UK, we have someone from Sri Lanka, we have someone from, different nationalities, and all of them are women, and then they are of different age groups. There are those of us who are newly, who are married and have young kids. There are people who are on the other extreme and they have, older kids who are married and they have grandkids, and they're talking about their son-in-law and their daughter-in-law during the Zoom meeting, and it's just refreshing to make new friends. So yeah, reconnecting with my old friends, making new friends over here. And then a big one was just reminding me that I am not my work. Yeah, I'm not my title, I'm not my roles, I'm not, and we know this, but we forget. You're not what you do for work. And for so long you find yourself introducing yourself. My name is Wanjiru and I'm the founder of Still a Mom, or this is what I do. And over time you become one with your role. And I remember there's a time I was seeing my therapist, I'll talk about that soon, and she asked me, so I want you to go and write who you are, and don't say you're a mom, don't say you're a wife, don't say you are, like remove the roles, just who I am. And to be honest, I'm still doing that assignment 6 months later. But one of the things that at least I wrote is I am a child of God, and I am who I am and I'm enough. I'm separate from my role. And yes, while it feels very nice to have some form of purpose or something to go and do, you are not those things, and so you, as a stay-at-home mom, you are not what you used to do for work, and yeah, I think that's a big deal. Number 4 has been reorganizing and structuring my day. So like now, for example, chores. My husband and I sat down, and I remember he said, hey babe, how would you feel, like what would we do so that you feel helped and you feel like your load is eased in terms especially of the chores. And one of the things he said, hey, can we let's buy a washing machine, because back home the nanny would fix that, she would do laundry, she would iron. Now here it's me. So he said, let's get a washing machine that has a dryer, so literally you just throw them in, they come out dry, all I have to do is iron and fold. And especially during lockdown, I'm not really ironing, no one is going anywhere important, so hey, it's just looking at the ways to reduce the workload. So like another thing was, in the evening when I cook dinner, and it's the same thing we have for lunch the very next day. And so that goes also to say the structuring of the day. When I wake up and I have something like I want to accomplish in the course of the day, it gives me purpose. If either I'm homeschooling, I'm teaching a concept, I've printed some school work. We've not enjoyed a school for our 3-year-old son, but there are all these amazing online materials that even like writing practice. When I know that that's what I'm starting my day with, and then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that, that gives my day some structure, and it helps me immensely. And then finally, I would say is therapy. So 2 things that consistently ground me is for me praying and spending time doing Bible study, either by myself or my friends. But number 2 is therapy. And I have, for the longest time, I wouldn't say for the longest time, for like 2 years, I've been seeing a therapist. And it's odd because as someone who runs an organization that is about mental health, I should have started seeing a therapist sooner. But anyway, better late than never. So I have a date with my therapist every month. And if I'm having a really overwhelming time, we can schedule a session. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to wait until the month ends. But that also grounds me to have somebody, a third party. And it really helps that also they're Christians, so when I say, this is what I feel God is leading me to do, they don't sound, I don't sound weird to them. They actually encourage that direction as well as my mental health. And so that has been very grounding for me, especially when I start to see that I'm not doing very well and I need a professional to speak to. So those have been my challenges and what I'm doing to, help myself and to make the situation a bit better. I'd like to hear how you're facing your COVID-19 challenges and lockdown, as well as any changes that is happening in your life. What are the challenges you're facing, and what are some of the steps that you're putting in place to help you go through this difficult process? All right, I hope this has been helpful. Please subscribe, please comment, and let me know what else you'd like me to talk about. Bye-bye.